All right, we're in an interview with Miss Dr. Bahani, and we'll go ahead and go with the first question. How do you think students learn the best?
That's a difficult question to answer. I think students learn the best when they're interested in the material enough to want to learn it. I think that's the problem, is trying to get them interested in the material.
Very good answer, I would say. The next question. What works in the classroom, I guess in your classrooms?
In my classroom, it's keeping the attention of the students, whether it's by hands-on or by throwing in some jokes or joking around with the students. Whatever keeps their attention works best in the classroom for me. And that's not necessarily true of everyone. What do you think? You've been in my classroom.
What works for me, I don't know if every student, but visual. Something visual, something to look, something I can touch, feel, grab it, actually go, here it is, here's what I need to be doing. If I have something like that, then I can learn just about anything.
So the hands-on approach works real well for
Yeah,
me.
as long as there's, like I said, like we're making the tutorials and stuff like that. Actually, somebody talking about it and then doing it would be great for me because I could actually see somebody do it and run through their processes and then I could do it.
Okay.
So what about you?
What works for me?
Yeah, what works for you?
Just being able to interact with the teacher and discuss it in class.
So more verbal. As long as someone can tell you how to do it, then you can do it.
So you're more of an auditory person. You like to hear the instructions rather than read, and
I like to see them.
you're visual. You like to see them. Okay.
I like to see them actually work through the problem.
So you've really got a problem because not all students learn the same way. So you've actually got to direct your teaching to all the different students.
You have to have a visual. You have to have audible. You have to have everything. If you don't have everything, then you have this one kid in the back who's completely lost. If you do just by sound and here it is, and you only get Michael's people. If you do just visual, you only get my people.
And what strategies do you use in the classroom to promote learning?
I think one of the things is that I like to have a little comedy in there to relieve the tension. And for those of you that can hear the drill, we're teaching in a classroom undergoing renovations as we're teaching, and this has not been real conducive to learning, but we just wanted you to get a mild feel of what it's like trying to teach with a saw going on in the background.
Pretty distracting.
One of the things is to try to involve the students, I think. What do you think that works for you too?
Yeah, get them involved in the actual learning process of what you're teaching. Yeah, that always works for me.
Do you think involving a lot of the technology that the three of us are working with right now, I know that a lot of people are doing that. They're involving iPads, they're involving iPhones, they're involving clickers, tablet computers, just about anything they can. Do you think that's a distraction, or do you think that kind of makes learning a little easier?
I guess it's good and bad. It can be distraction if the person is just worried about the clicker the whole time. If they use it, it's kind of like a tool. Any tool can be used the wrong way. So I would say somewhat of a distraction, but it also can be learned because you have to go forward with technology. So when they create new computers, tablets, and stuff like that, it's good to introduce them because maybe they're using them at home to look up Facebook or something, and you're using it in class. It's like a related, makes it more enjoyable, I guess.
Do you think I should incorporate Facebook in my classes if I can, if it's appropriate to material?
Facebook is going to be hard, I think, because it's more of a social networking, more like for people just goofing around on the weekends that they have nothing else to do, just sitting in the room doing nothing, watching TV. If you can find a very productive way to use it, I would think it'd be great because instant connection between people all over the world. So,
what about YouTube?
YouTube, me personally, to do anything, I use YouTube. I learned how to tie a tie by going on YouTube. I mean, like that's stuff that I use it for. So if I don't know, I can YouTube and try to look it up. I'm going to go ahead and say the last question.
So are certain strategies used for graduate students and compared to undergraduate students?
I haven't taught graduate students for quite a while, and the population of graduate students I taught was restricted to teachers, teaching them how to incorporate computers in the classroom years ago when we first introduced them. But I suspect teaching graduate students is different because by the time they become graduate students, they have actually learned how to study, how to do research, how to maintain their time at a certain level. I don't know. I remember a long time ago I took a class in teaching what we referred to back in the 70s as educable retarded, which is, I understand, is no longer politically correct, but students who had learning disabilities. And one thing we learned was repetition. And you should always repeat something you're doing more than once. We also learned how to teach things at least 3 different ways. And I never thought I would use that, but I discovered that works well in all classes. So I suspect something like that would work well in an undergraduate and a graduate setting. You two are both undergraduates, and you're not freshmen anymore. You know what you're doing. What would you say you would think that the difference between a freshman teaching a freshman class and maybe a junior level class? Would there be a difference in that, do you think?
I think maturity, maybe like they're more eager to learn because they're getting closer to the end, ready to get their degree. The classes are getting more intense, more important. It's not just taking English anymore. For me, it'd be like taking civil engineering courses, statics and stuff like that. So maybe it gets a little more serious, more, I don't know, more narrow to your degree. So it starts getting a little harder. I just think maturity level changes after being in for a year or two. Just kind of figure out how everything goes.
It's also closer to their major and what they're interested in, so
Yeah.
they'd be more interested in, instead of just a chemist major doesn't have to take English.
Yeah, exactly.
Be more interested in chemistry than you would English.
Yeah, if you're a math teacher and you're taking English, it's like it's the worst thing you can think of. But that's what I think. Maturity is like play the big scale in it, because you're not 19 and 20 anymore. Usually, graduates are usually older, a little more used to it. Maturity plays, they're not out getting drunk every night.
And also how well they can handle the workload.
Exactly.
For those of you that are listening to this, this was one of the learning modules in 3B about doing the interview with a teacher. Since it's summer school and nobody's around, I decided I would let the 2 of my research associates here that are helping me this summer transfer Computer Science 102 over to an online class. I decided I would let them use some of the technology we're testing out. This was done with Camtasia on the Mac version, and we're now going to try to load this onto Blackboard, and if you're hearing this, we were very successful, but we're going to test it first. Thank you.